Hello and welcome to another installment of Death Valley Life. It's a beautiful morning here in Death Valley, USA. Apologies for my over-the-top Dame Edna sunglasses, but I couldn't find my regular ones. Anyway, I've had a lot of people emailing me and messaging me, asking me for updates on the big build. That's right, we've been in the middle of this huge construction project for the last month. It's taking up every waking moment of my life. I can't travel anymore. I can't go have any adventures. All I ever do is work. But it's all worth it because this thing is turning out awesome. Okay, before I get into the details of the project, just a quick pan over the beautiful desert and our beautiful lumber yard, just to kind of remind you of what we're dealing with. We are living on the edge of the open desert. Nothing as far as the eye can see but sand dunes and blazing sunshine, which actually it's been really pleasant here. Daytime highs have been in the upper 80s, maybe low 90s. I don't know, that's where I come from. That's extremely pleasant. Depending on what part of the country you're in, well, it might be 10, 20, or even 30 degrees cooler right now where you are. But out here, it's one of the best times of year. Anyway, I'm shooting this update video today because our two friends that are helping us with the build, Randy and Kelton, are both otherwise occupied at this moment. So I won't be getting in their way when they're trying to work, because this is, above all else, an active job site. I mean, oh, you can see the whole front, I don't know what you would really call this, front deck, front area. It's just completely taken over with lumber and roofing supplies, and well, we even got a wheelbarrow. So unfortunately, when we have people stop by, well, I always have to tell them, just so you know, things are kind of a mess around here. But like I just mentioned, it's all toward a very good end. I mean, look at this friggin', I wouldn't really call it a porch because there's no bottom to it. It's basically just a roof to give us some shade. And you can see that it's already doing its job. This is the south-facing wall of the house. And here it is mid-late October. The sun isn't even hitting it. So the sun's going to continue on its course this way all day long. And this wall is in shade the entire day. It's pretty cool. And then the roof continues around to the west side of the house too. And you can see this side is in super deep shade, and it will stay that way all day long. Yes, right now it's October, the sun's a little bit lower, but in the summertime the sun takes an even higher course, and then we're really going to have more shade. So I feel like this is going to, I would say, cut our electricity costs by at least $5 a month. I don't know. It's keeping the sun from hitting the walls of the house, which is keeping the walls of the house from heating up as much, which in turn is keeping the interior of the house cooler so that our mini split doesn't have to work as hard. I would think that would mean lower power bills, but what do I know? Anyway, my sis is up there cleaning stuff off the roof, and we'll go up there in a minute, but I wanted to show you what exactly we did here. In my last video, I think I showed us mixing cement and pouring these footings, and well, then we put up these posts, and then we put up these beams, and then we put up these rafters, and then we put up these hurricane ties, and oh my goodness. When I say we, I mostly mean they. I mean, my sister and I do help out. Every morning we get up bright and early. I've been getting up at 5 a.m. every day, and we come out here and, you know, do what we can to help. But really, it's mostly Randy and Kelton. They're doing the lion's share of all this work, and I think they're doing an amazing job. I mean, the craftsmanship and the thoroughness of everything they're doing is just really amazing. There's no floor to it. It's just bare dirt, which we're going to have to figure out how we want to deal with this, because the nice thing about having this huge shade, I mean, this goes out 10 feet on 2 full sides of the house. Well, it basically increases our living space. I mean, this is the outdoor living space, but you know, the weather's nice enough out here that you can spend a lot of the year outdoors. Well, it basically increases our living space by almost double. Like, this is only a 1,000 square foot house, but now we're going to have this whole area here and this whole area here to keep, you know, we could put couches, chairs, even bookshelves. Like, I was watching this really cool YouTube channel that this couple who lives in Slab City ran, and it was called Rabbit Side Camp. I don't think they're there anymore, but they had really cool videos because they live in Slab City. Everything's just a hodgepodge cobbled together out of odds and ends and pallets. But it was all outdoors. I mean, they had a little trailer that they lived in, but most of their living space is outdoors. And so they had bookshelves and knickknacks and curios all outside. So I think that'll be a really cool idea. And it'll also alleviate some of the crowded conditions in the house. All the mannequins can finally have a place out here. You know, they'll be shaded from the sun so they won't degrade. I can finally put all the silver mannequins in the shade because they're going to turn black if they're in the sun too long. But anyway, it would be nice if we could figure out a way to... Well, obviously we're going to have to tamp this dirt down as smooth as we can, and then maybe just pour sand on it, and we have a bunch of paver stones laid in that we scavenged from odds and ends around the yard. There's more over there. Now, obviously we don't have enough paver stones to do this whole area, but well, I guess we'll start collecting them, and we'll figure out some way to make this have a floor, you know, because, yeah, you know, it'd be really nice to just have somebody come out here and pour a cement patio all the way around, but that's expensive. And let me tell you something, we've already spent so much money on this project. It's tapping me out financially, and my sis too. I mean, this is like the worst time ever to be buying construction materials, as I don't need to tell you because inflation. So getting a poured concrete slab is unfortunately out of the question. We're just gonna have to rig something up the old-fashioned way. Okay, anyway, you can see the roof is made out of painted OSB, oriented strand board, and then there's going to be corrugated metal placed on top of that, with metal flashing all along the edge, so it'll look really nice and professional when it's done. That's the thing about these guys. You know, Randy can fix anything. Kelton is a perfectionist. I mean, he did build custom homes for a living, actually, and so he knows a thing or two about building a nice, aesthetically pleasing house. Matter of fact, speaking of aesthetics, he's even getting all fancy here on the corner where the west and south sides come together. He's going to build this fancy hip with diagonal rafters coming this way and diagonal coming that way. And well, then we got the idea to rig up a chandelier. Check this out. We got this old chandelier. I think it might be from the Amargosa Opera House. I'm not really sure. I think these two big lanterns are definitely from the Amargosa Opera House. But these other chandeliers, we're collecting chandeliers, by the way. If you have any, send them our way. This one here, Randy said he could rewire it and put LED flickering candle bulbs in each one of the 6 side lamps and then the middle one. And then we can hang it up on these rafters, you know, under this fancy hip thing. And then I guess my sister's idea is to put like a little table under here so we can do like outdoor dining, you know, have dinner outside. We've been eating dinner outside every day lately because it's so nice out here in the evenings. You can see we kind of have our little low coffee table and chair set up. That's where we sit every evening and enjoy a meal together, because you can't make it all just work. We like sitting down and having a good meal and having a nice cocktail at the end of a hard day's work. Okay, let me show you what it looks like up on the roof. My sister's up there, you can see in the background, working. I'll have to stay out of her way, but we can go up this ladder here. Safety first. Pretty sure these are OSHA approved flip-flops and eye protection. Okay, here we are on the roof. Gotta be real careful. But thankfully everything that these guys are building is up to code and super solid, and like I said, very thorough, so I don't have to worry about it being structurally unsound. So I think this is what my sister is doing. There was a bunch of old roofing tile up here on the roof that the previous owner just left stacked up, and I guess it's actually causing the roof to sag a little bit. And the reason all this tile is stacked up here is, well, the main part of the house does have a tile roof, you can probably see. Sorry about the sun, I know it's right behind, but that's the living room and the kitchen, and then this is my bedroom, and that was the original house. This other room here, which is the office, this was an addition. So this was built on later, and I guess the idea was he would add a tile roof to the addition as well. But unfortunately, I guess the slope of the addition isn't, well, it's not sloped enough to allow for these tiles on it. So he had all the tiles ready to go and then realized he couldn't use them, left them stacked up here. Now they're causing the roof to sag. So I think that's what my sister's doing right now. She's just carrying tile down the ladder. She's a hard-working gal. They don't make them like that anymore. You know, both of us are hardworking. I mean, I'm just standing here lollygagging, talking to you with these crazy sunglasses on, but I'm actually working, you know? This is my job, believe it or not. Anyway, up here on the roof, you can see this is the top of what we just, or what they just put in. Maybe give you a better idea of what I was talking about with that hip. It's It's gonna be real fancy, you know, with those rafters coming off each side, kind of like veins on a leaf. It'll cast a really cool shadow pattern. And then, of course, we'll have this nice, deep, dark, shaded back and a relatively nice, dark, deep, shaded front, I guess. Is the front side of the house. Which, you know, if it was up to me and I was the one building this house in the first place, I would have built the dang front side over here on the north side, which is in the shade all day, you know? Whoever built this house wasn't taking that kind of stuff into consideration. There's only one window on the whole north side of the house, essentially. That side of the house should be all windows, but hey, what do I know? Like I've said twice already, I just bought this place. Anyway, before I climb back down the ladder, let's just take a little pan around town. It's real quiet because it's early in the morning. Everybody in town can probably hear me blabbing to myself, but it's a beautiful day, like I said, in the desert. There's a little tip of the old rugged cross you might remember from the last video. There's good old Delight's Hot Spring. If you've ever been out here, you might have stayed at Delight's before. Really nice hot spring resort with a great swimming pool. There's our microwave internet. That's how we get our internet. Some of you might be curious about that. I'll show you real quick. I'm not really sure how they do it, but they beam the internet signal out of Vegas to Shoshone, little town of Shoshone over there. And then there's some kind of tower that beams it back. And this thing catches it. And that's why we didn't need no stinking Starlink. I mean, this is pretty fast once I got them to tweak it a little bit. And it's $125 a month, which is, I think, comparable to Starlink. So for now, no Starlink for us. Okay, well, believe it or not, I'm shooting this on a Wednesday because, like I said, Randy and Kelton, well, we take Wednesdays off. Actually, we take 2 days a week off. It's important to take a break every now and then, especially for them because they're doing all this heavy lifting and they need to allow their bodies time to recuperate. So we usually take off Sundays and Wednesdays. Today's a Wednesday. We're not going to be doing any work today, except for my sister apparently. So this is a good day to just kind of get other things done, take care of business, run errands. And to that end, I better climb down off this roof and go wash this mud off my face. Oh, here they are. Okay, I'm going to town with Randy. We're going to go run some errands in Pahrump, and we're going to take
Kelton's car.
Kelton's Polestar electric vehicle. Oh, this is a nice car. How do you like driving this, Randy?
It's kind of cool, and it's way too fast.
Had to check my mail first. Okay, now I gotta get my hair cut. Randy,
Okay.
do you need a haircut?
Yes. Actually, I want them to cut my hair like yours.
So much better. Veteran parking. How about that? Randy, are you a veteran?
United States Navy. Yay.
Navy. When did you serve?
70 to 74.
Vietnam.
Well, no. I roughed it in Athens, Greece.
Okay, last stop. We need to pick up a few groceries. Get out of town! It's only October! What the hey? They don't have Campari! Randy and I developed a taste for Campari, which is a very bitter liqueur that mostly just old Italian ladies drink. And you can't buy it anywhere in Pahrump. Now, I don't like to go to Vegas very often because it's 85 miles away and there's traffic and angry people. But it's the only place I can get Campari. I mean, I've checked at every grocery store and every liquor store in all of Pahrump, and nobody carries it. Randy, what are we gonna do? We can't get Campari anywhere in town. What are we gonna have for cocktails?
You want to call Scott? See if we can get him to bring it up?
I'm sure he will.
He's got a motorcycles, you can drive that 80 miles cheap.
If it involves alcohol, he'll do it. Okay, believe it or not, Randy is actually the cousin of my friend Scott, who you might remember was my boozy companion on the hunt for the A12 crash site. So if I give Scott a call, and if I sweet talk him, well, I just might be able to convince him to come out here and bring us some Campari.
You want me to drive 150 miles to bring you Campari? Are you crazy? Besides, I have a mani-pedi today.
Wow. It's amazing how different two cousins can be. Well, I actually posted about this online, and somebody told me that you can actually get Campari in Pahrump at Albertsons, but it's $35 a bottle. Meanwhile, it's only $30 a bottle at Trader Joe's, but there's no Trader Joe's in Pahrump. But I have to go to Vegas in a few days anyways to get my tires rotated, so I guess I could just pick some up then. Well, Randy, we did it.
We did it.
I guess there's some things you can only get in the big city, like road rage, monkeypox, and cheap Campari.
It ain't cheap.